What about the negative people in your life? Hi, it's Stacey Berger here with Mastering Your Mindset. I am passionate about you living a life you love. One of the most common questions I get from my coaching clients, especially early on in this journey, is how do I handle the negative people in my life? As we start to ask the question, what would I love, and have a vision and start to notice our thoughts, and we're thinking more positive and things start to open up in our lives, all of a sudden those negative voices, those negative people become a lot more obvious. And maybe they've been in your life for a long time and you just hadn't noticed how negative they were, or they just seem to be getting louder as you're moving in a different direction. So how can you handle the negative people in your life while you're moving towards your dream? So one of the most important things that I believe is that we are able to honor everybody on their journey. That just like you are a spiritual being having this human experience, so is everybody else that's walking the planet today. And instead of making their journey wrong, our journey right, is to just honor people where they are and to know that they're doing the best they can based on their level of awareness. And when we can have that perspective and see people in that light in our lives, it helps us to move more to a place of compassion rather than judgment. So how can you have more compassion to those people in your life? And then as you've made decisions, as you've chosen to be more positive, to look on the bright side of life, to focus on the things that are going right, maybe to have that gratitude practice. And there's people in your life, maybe it's friends, maybe it's family, it could be coworkers, it could be somebody that's living in your home with you. How to really be in those relationships when what you really would love is to have more positivity around you. So where it all starts, first of all, is to create the vision for the relationships that you do want in your life. Who would you love to be surrounded by? How would you love to support the people in your life? How would you love to be supported by them? To really write that vision for the relationships in your life. And if you want some support for that, I have a powerful tool on creating your vision. You can find that link below as well. So what would you love in the relationship? Start with that vision. And as you get more clear about the relationships that you would like in your life, what you'll find starts to happen is you'll start to notice more positive people showing up for you. So just like Gandhi said, we want to be the change we wish to see in the world. If you want more positivity, if you want more support in your life, how are you showing up in your relationships? Are you supporting other people's dreams? Are you looking at that glass as being half full? The more you're being that positive person, the more you're being that support, you're now a vibrational match to attract more of that positivity in your life. And what happens often is the people that are unlike that vision, unlike how you're showing up in the world, oftentimes they naturally fall away. They'll naturally fall away. You naturally won't spend quite as much time with them. And you'll start to attract more positivity in your life. So get really, really crystal clear about the relationships you do want in your life and start to be that person and watch how things change. The other powerful thing we can say to our partners, especially if it's your spouse, your partner, when you're moving in a different direction, as you're moving towards your dream, and they don't understand that, they're not quite on that path with you, is to say to them, I don't expect you to understand it, but what I would love from you is your support, that you support me because you love me. I'm not asking you to understand it, but support me because you love me. And that's a really great way to ask for that support in a way that would feel really good to you and in a way that they aren't feeling pressure to all of a sudden change the way they think, the way they believe. So one final thing to handle those negative people in your life is to be really clear with your intentions. Maybe when you know that you're going into a business meeting, you're going into a lunch, you're going into a family reunion or family dinner, and you're expecting, here we go again. It's going to be that negative conversation. Before you go into that meeting, before you connect with that person, make sure that you set an intention about what you would love from that interaction. How do you want to feel when it's done? Pre-paving that positive experience. And as you do that, what happens is you show up differently. And the way you show up, people often will respond to that. So watch those situations change right in front of your eyes. So get really clear about the vision. What would you love in your relationships? Be that person. Be that support. Be that positivity. Ask people to support you because they love you, not because they understand or agree with what you're doing. And then set those intentions, pre-pave a different experience when you're going into that. So there's going to be people that we come across on our journey that aren't always supporters, that aren't always positive. Instead of letting them control how you feel, you get to decide, how do I want to show up here? And as you do that, watch the ripple effect show up inside your life. So if this served you, make sure you like the video, share it with somebody else who would benefit from this message, and here is to your success.